got it going. With the spin of the wheel, we'll uncover our fate and stream it to you on one take. We tend to be loud and we fight quite a bit, but it's an unscripted show, so you get what you get. If we stop to right now and we just walked away, we'd be back here next week, cause we just can't wait to play.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another ARG Presents. Are you kidding me, the Brent? It's me. It's that mean old AA, Amigo Aaron, joined by everyone's favorite lout. It's the Brent. Hey, how's it going? You know, when the word lout, you should have a picture of you in the dictionary. That's it. I wish the people on the radio could have seen that face. We're back again, everybody, for another ARG Presents. We're back on our home turf, ARG, where it all came together so long ago. And this week, once again, what came together will be torn asunder.
You know, if we could ever go back in time and alter one thing in life, I'd have never been on that show.
Too late, jerk. You're here for life now. So, you know, sometimes you get a simple thing, like a request to play games with celebrities in them. Games with celebrities seems like an easy task, but no. There's always one man that takes an easy task and makes it god-awful and hard, and that's the Brent. He's done it again this week with one of his patented Brent Baloney picks. What? But we'll get to that in a little while. Let's talk about games featuring celebrities. Now, we made a couple pre-requests, caveats, if you will. Now, what were those caveats, the Brent?
We had to pick someone who was still living.
Still living celebrity.
Yeah.
And presumably they would be a celebrity, but we're a little bit on that one. So before you came across your choice, what were the other options you had on the plate?
Well, this was an interesting one because I actually found a Wikipedia article that lists all like famous people in games.
Yeah.
And there's 3 categories of these people. Category 1, sports people.
Right.
Which there are tons, right?
Name 5 real quick.
You've got Ken Griffey Jr. baseball.
Yeah.
You've got Madden. You've got Michael Jordan's basketball.
And we played
Dr. J versus Larry Bird.
Which we also played.
The Big Hurts baseball.
Yeah. Pete Rose is in there. He got a baseball game. Tommy Lasorda's got a baseball game.
And then you've also got your golf people.
Yeah.
Lee Trevino. You've got your tennis
Tiger
people.
Woods. Yeah. Jimmy Connors.
So if you want to do sports people, you've got it all day long.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do sports people.
I didn't either, so that was sports out. I was with you on that.
Number
Too
2.
easy. And we did the best sports titles, the stupid ones that Michael Jordan was involved in. Those are the best ones.
Well, the best ones are ones where they're not playing sports.
Yeah, like Windy City Rampage.
That's
I think
it.
it was called.
So then you've got your second type of famous people games. And this is, I'll slash with this one. This is your music / child entertainment people, right?
Yeah.
And these are all the people that either have a kids show or musical influence.
Like those twins. What are those twins called?
Mary-Kate and Ashley.
They've got 400 games. Yeah.
And then you've got like your Pearl Jam editions of Rock Band, or your Aerosmith's edition of Rock Band.
It's funny how many times they would mention the Rock Band in the Guitar Hero games. Which I don't really consider that part of this this doesn't fit well into what we're talking about.
Exactly.
I mean, I guess you could do like the Beatles Rock Band, but I mean,
well,
what are you
dead.
going to talk about?
Some of them are dead.
Oh, that's true.
And then you've got your third category.
I thought you were just being a jerk there. I didn't realize you were actually making a point. I thought you were like, oh, they're dead. I know some of the Beatles are dead to Brent. Go ahead.
And then you've got your third category, which is sort of a miscellaneous, right?
Yeah.
And this captures a lot of people that you would not expect.
Yeah.
Who's the big loudmouth cook? Has his own show.
Hell's Kitchen guy. Yeah, that British guy. You've got a jerk.
You've got him. You've got people like famous dart players who I cannot name any of right now. Which is, I agree, that's sort of sportsy.
Yeah, that's a sport. Darts is a sport.
Your chess players. And some of your movie stars. But the problem with movie stars is if they aren't playing themselves in the movie, I didn't even figure that counted.
Well, I mean, I sort of wanted them to at least play someone that was based on them. You know what I'm saying? Like Pee Wee Herman. If Pee Wee Herman's in a game and it looks like Pee Wee Herman, but it's not actually the guy's name, it's something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was okay. That would have been okay. But yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah.
So when you whittle down all those, right?
Yeah.
Then the list gets mighty small.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm looking in the chat here. No, we didn't play Phyllis Diller's Psycho Squad. If that was a real game, I'd be in because I love Phyllis Diller. But he mentioned Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan was on my short list of games. The problem was I was looking at games to play. And I thought to myself, you know, I have more ability to play stuff than I used to. Like, well, I want to try to get something on a system we don't cover that often.
Sure.
And so that's what I was like, okay, I'm going to try something on the PS2. Like, we hardly ever cover the PS2. And usually, in my mind, the PS2, I'd be like, that's too new. But I looked, and this game came out in 2002 or
Well,
2004. I was like, holy smoke, the PS2 was around a long time ago.
Well, considering the PlayStation 5 is out, I think we can count PS2 as retro.
Well, you got to understand something. It's hard. It's a weird. You're in a weird area there.
I know.
You know?
I agree.
So, but
I
yeah,
agree.
that's when I decided the system I was going to pick. I'm like, okay, what criteria?
So that's what you
meets
did.
the
You
game.
said system first.
I looked around. What can I do? I looked around at cooking games and games like that. And some of the people that had games like I'd never heard of. So I wanted it to be someone I'd heard of. Like, I mean, it's just like who's the guy that did Yvonne Iron Man Stewart's Off-Road? Like,
Yeah.
we know about Off-Road. But
Right.
if it wasn't for that game, would you know who Ivan Iron Man Stewart was? Probably not.
Probably not.
Or what about one of the geeks that does like snowboarding? You know, you might not know who that goof is.
Sean.
Sean, the redheaded carrot top looking dude, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You see my point. There's a chick. I don't know who they are. I can't remember. So I wanted it to be someone I'd heard of, and also who was literally in the game.
Right.
That was it had to be alive. Those were my criteria. And so once I've determined.
Well, see, I obviously did not keep up that criteria because I think that's going way deeper than the category.
Well, I would also. It's okay if they actually had a decent hand in making the game. Like if you say like John Madden, the original John Madden. It's not like Madden. There might be a still shot of him going like, hey. But I mean, like he actually affected that game.
Yes, I agree.
He made them play like actual football. So
Yes.
if you pick Madden 1, which I think we also have covered on a show,
haven't.
I think I covered it. But Madden that's why I know this information. So he changed the game fundamentally.
Yes.
Right? So that would have been okay. I'm okay with that. So your game passes muster on that one. So it was a long, weird journey. You know, but I think one of us fulfilled their obligations, and we'll leave you up to the chat to decide.
And the last stipulation, of course, is something we haven't covered previously.
Right.
Which, as Pac Billy pointed out in chat, eliminates Michael Jackson's Moonwalker,
Yeah.
which would have been perfect for the subject,
Yeah.
but has been previously
And Michael
covered.
Jackson's got a couple games, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not really necessarily down with that anyway. So we picked what we picked. There's another one. Matt Hoffman's BMX. Perfect example. So, with all that said, the Brent, I guess you want to lead the dance. So, Brent, as usual, went way outside the box. I
don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that.
Well, again, we talked this before the show. In fact, we had a heated conversation before the show. It was stupidly heated because I was right and he was wrong. But that won't stop it from being heated. Tell them what you picked for celebrities in gaming,
Well,
Brent.
you're right. You are wrong about that. I went with the American classic. I followed the dream of a million men. I went above and beyond and chose, with all of my power and might, Edward O. Thorp's Real Blackjack.
Everyone knows Edward O. Thorp. I've got a poll before you start. If you've ever heard of Edward O. Thorp in the chat, raise your hand.
Or comment
Or
below.
in the comments. If you've ever heard of this guy, I mean, right now, stop what you're doing and leave a comment. Now continue. Remember, celebrities in gaming. Go ahead.
Edward O. Thorp's Real Blackjack. Now, let me tell you something, Aaron. before we go into the game itself, we've got to talk about the man behind the game.
Should we all know who he is?
Well, that's what I just said. We're
Okay.
We're gonna talk about the man behind the game.
The chat's killing you right now. I love it.
So, who is Edward Thorp? Edward Thorp, born in 1932.
Yeah.
And yes, we both had to look up if he was actually still alive.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
He is a mathematical genius who has written many books, both on the subject of blackjack and later in his life on investing. But we're going to focus on what he did with blackjack and how he revolutionized the game.
I think currently he's like a big investment guy.
He's a huge investment guy. He also pointed out, like Bernie Madoff, he's like, no, this guy's scamming a bunch of people way before it came out that it was true. I'm talking like a decade before.
Yeah.
Because this guy knows numbers. He is numbers. What?
What a tagline. He is numbers.
He is. And he wrote a best-selling book called Beat the Dealer. Aaron, Edward Thorp figured out card counting before card counting was a big thing. This man did the math, ran the numbers, and knew that you could get an edge on blackjack if you could correctly predict what cards were still left in the deck. And when he did this, Aaron, he used modern technology at the time. He learned how to program in 4chan, went to his...
Fortran.
Yeah, what'd I say?
4chan.
No, he definitely didn't program that. He went to his university computers, loaded up this program, and ran it, right?
Right.
And everything checked out. And he was like, crap, this is it. Took $10,000, went to the casinos and put his thoughts into action and won. And that's when the game was on. That's when he sat down and came up with a method that other people made, maybe even more famous than him. The MIT group, this was all kind of their knowledge base was what he had started.
So he was the launching pad for the very famous MIT Blackjack squad.
Correct.
Got it.
And he was, now he did not invent card counting, but he is the one that tested card counting and said this actually does work. Using an IBM computer, I might add. I know IBM 704.
Okay.
So we need to put that on the wheel.
Well, when I know one game we can play.
So he took this money and he went to the casinos and he turned $10,000 into, what do you want to guess, Aaron?
$170,000.
$11,000.
Wow. Wow, I was guessing too high.
Yes, because this was his first run. Also, this was back in like 62.
Yeah.
Okay.
So today that'd be worth $100 million.
Yeah. That would be quite a bit of money. He also changed another part of the casino, Aaron. Unfortunately, we don't have a game on this. He changed roulette. Have you heard this story?
I know he could use probability to determine where the wheel was most likely going to stop.
Sorta. He had a device in his shoe that would transmit to someone standing at the table. So he would be at the wheel, and when the dealer, they're not called dealers, but I can't think what they're called, shoots the ball into the roulette wheel, based on where it started, he could hit the shoe and it would calculate where to bet. This was one of the main reasons that casinos outlawed electronic devices. This was the main
because that was
cheating
legal.
device. Yeah, this was legal at the time he used it.
I will say, if you ever seen, I know you probably haven't seen this movie. There's a famous movie called Casino. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorites.
Of course I've seen it.
Oh, you haven't? So there's a scene in the movie where these guys are cheating at cards. One guy's doing just what Brent said. He's got a gimmick in his shoe, and it's he's tapping it out, and it's alerting this guy to what to do. He's sitting at a table nearby. If you'll recall in the movie, they smashed the guy's hands with a ball bat, I believe, and then threw him out in the alley, which was great fun. But like if you think about it, there was a time where you could legally do that before they caught on, and this guy came up with a gizmo to do it.
Yes, he is credited in some circles to be the first person to ever have an wearable electronic device. Because you have to think, this was way back in the day, way different than it is now.
Yeah.
Something like this was just unheard of for the time.
Very clever.
So when you have all this knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And he used it extensively.
Yeah.
He gambled a ton and made a ton of money.
Wore disguises, the whole 9 yards.
Yes, because casinos eventually caught on. I mean, as they always do.
I love that.
When the numbers don't add up, you have to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
And they would start saying, your play is too good for us, sir. You have to leave. And he'd get kicked out of casinos. So he would dress up as women. He would dress up as cowboys, anything, to sit back down at the table. And because in his mind, what he was doing wasn't cheating. The blackjack stuff, the roulette stuff, it's certainly a gray area.
I do like the fact that a guy you referred to as the master of all numbers is in drag. Maybe he was a female cowboy at some place. It's in Atlantic City. I can see a female cowboy come rolling in. That's good stuff. So it's good to see that Professor Numbers he'll sink down low in the dirt to get that money.
Well, I mean, he was doing what he felt was fair and right, and he's right. If you are there,
dressing in drag undercover,
your wits versus the house's wits, that should be allowed. But casinos eventually changed. This was back when you were using single decks, or on a crazy day, you might use 2 decks, right?
It was a single boot, I believe, is what they were using.
And now, of course, card counting, you can still do it, but it's the odds are terribly against you because they're using, 8, 10, sometimes 12 decks in a shoe, and will cut halfway through.
Yeah.
So anytime the count gets decent, they just sweep it under the rug. But he did all of that, all of the card counting stuff, all of this number manipulation stuff. He was on the absolute razor's edge of that stuff. Wrote several books, several papers, and as we're going to see today, Aaron, Edward O. Thorp's Real Blackjack for DOS. On the surface, you might look at this game and say, man, this is a kind of a crappy looking DOS game. Of course, it came out in 1990, so a little bit of crap is expected.
Yeah.
But if you are thinking, man, I'm going to just play blackjack on like my NES. No, that's not what this is.
Yeah.
This is designed to help you, if not straight out teach you how to card count. It is the most complicated blackjack program I have ever seen. It does not do other casino games. It doesn't do table games. Blackjack, that's it.
And the money's also sort of, it doesn't matter if you go $50 million in the hole. None of that matters. There's no saving your wallet.
There's no story. There's no
story in your card game. You're right.
It is 100%. Here's how, this is what you'd be up against in a casino. The help file for this game is tremendous.
It's one of Mr. Thorpe's books.
It is tremendous. I did not go through all of the help because I did not have 18,000 years.
Did you try to actually use this to count cards?
No.
I did. And it with disastrous results. It helps if you can count without cards.
Yeah, that's it.
And then it gets a lot harder.
You saw the picture cards. You didn't know what was going on.
Well, yeah.
What number is Jack? I don't know. But if you were serious about card counting back in the day, this is something you could have gotten and really took a stab at it. It goes deep, it goes hard, and it is incredibly instructional. It has charts. It has, everything that you could possibly think of that would help you get better at card counting. This game has.
Yeah, it's impressive. But if you, after a hand is played, you can go and look, and it keeps track of all the hands that you played.
Yes.
Your streaks, losing and winning, like anytime you did the wrong thing, it writes that down.
Yep.
And I mean, it goes down to like, did you split? Did you double? Did you? It keeps track of everything you've done, the amount of money you won and lost, the amount of the bets you placed. I mean, it's crazy, and it gets to the point where you could even basically have like, I mean, I'm gonna throw this out there. It's gonna seem nonsensical, but your play style. It's almost like having AI abilities because you could tell it how you want it to play in certain situations. So you could sort of tangibly change players' abilities by changing how they react to certain things, including the house, which you can also play with.
And also, this is the only blackjack game that I can quickly think of that lets you practice with multiple hands, where you're controlling multiple seats at the table, which is a thing that you can do in casinos.
Yeah.
But all of this combines into, it's not a pretty looking game.
No.
It is
It's
not
Dossy.
It is not fast-paced action.
No.
It is an instructable blackjack game to try to get you better at playing blackjack, which I can't think of another game that seriously goes into this kind of depth that tries to teach a skill like this. I was really impressed at how far it went in the instructional side. Aaron, what did you think about this game? From the moment you loaded it up and eventually got past the cracked screen, what was your opinion on this?
I've got two opinions that I want to get into.
All right.
And I'll save the other one for a second, but I loaded this up, and this game was hard to find. Thank God we found a link to it. I don't know where you found that link, but Brent found a link to play it, because it's difficult to find. It's not like this game made the rounds. And I think I know why. Because the first thing you do in this game is there's a manual lookup. And if you, like, so me and a few other people, Jocko, were like baffled, and Brent, as to how to get this game to start. Because it says, like, the hacker says type in 999 for demonstration, but 999 doesn't work. You have to type in a 5-digit code. So but when you look at what it says type 00000, and then it gives you a blank. And so I thought it just wanted 5 digits. No, it wants you to type in 5 zeros and hit enter, and the game will start. So that's how you start the game if you decide to play this. We'll put a link down there because you can play this in your browser. So once you get started, everything you do in the game revolves around your function keys.
Yes.
So I mean, all you'll do.
Odd. There's
no mouse. There's all that. There's no cursor around. It's all function keys. So once you get used to that weirdness, I was talking to Brent before the show, I could never get a non-human player to do things, ante up.
To set on our side of the table. The dealer, of course, is all automatic.
I don't know if that's something wrong with the game, or...
I think it's our understanding.
Well, I mean, I tried every key, and nothing would ante an automatic player. So I used to play every hand.
Yeah.
In fact, the video, if you're watching, that's me playing. So you can play up to 6 hands. You can just play one hand if you want.
Yeah.
I tried card count with just one hand because I wasn't like, and it was hard enough. But I mean it's there. The information's there for someone to sit down and study it. And I think as a card counting tool, now of course things have changed since this game came around.
Sure.
But if you're card counting to screw over your buddies in blackjack, this would be your baby. I mean, you could screw with the house and with their rules. I didn't do that much, but you could do it. But you could also, and
what Aaron means by that is, do they stand on a soft blackjack? Do they hit that kind of stuff?
Insurance or something. Yeah, exactly. The card, in terms of a blackjack game, this is as solid as you're going to get. But blackjack's been pretty much, the television had one. I mean, remember when we played that campus computer? It had blackjack games to beat that. So blackjack, not that difficult a game to put together. And this is no frills. You can bet up to $35 a hand from $5 to $35 using the function keys when it's time to bet. And then you could split your hand, you could double down.
Yeah, all the normal things.
So it's got all, some blackjacks don't have them. This has all the stuff, just like you're in a casino. And there's no deal, you don't see any people, it's all just cards. As a blackjack game, I found this totally, not only did I find it good, I found it real good. I liked it because the statistical elements that you get trump a lot of other card games I've played. So it's a DOS blackjack game where you can actually see how you're playing and see how the results are and see where you screwed up, I think it does a good job. Because I play a lot of blackjack on my phone. So I like blackjack.
I am the exact opposite.
What do you
This
mean?
is not a game. This is edutainment.
Well, I mean, you're not going to want to play this probably.
That's the and I respect what this game is. This is a teaching tool. This is less entertaining than Oregon Trail was, and Oregon Trail is a teaching tool.
Oh, yeah. It's way less
Okay.
entertaining. I just played a game of that the other day. It's way more entertaining.
If I wanted to just screw around and play some blackjack, I'm not loading this up. It's just too much. As a teaching tool, there is no better version of blackjack that I've ever seen. It is top notch in its statistics and its just knowledge.
Well, I think you're underselling it as a blackjack game. I'll tell you why. I have not come across too many blackjack games that let you play multiple cards so simply,
I agree.
multiple hands, I should say, with full options, and then statistically break down every aspect of blackjack.
Yes.
And so, if that sort of thing interests you, I think you would enjoy Edward O. Thorp's Real Blackjack. All right, now, so in terms of a game, it's fine. It's I had no problem with it. Once you settle up with the controls, it's all on the screen. You won't have any trouble unless you try to get a computer player in there. Then good luck. But again, who knows? It could be what we're playing. We don't have the original software to try it. I'm going to try to get this and put it on DOSBox Pure Unleashed and try it Friday.
There you go.
With that said, the other aspect, my other frame of mind on this is, as I mentioned earlier, Edward O. Thorp, who is a pioneer in cheating of cards,
Not cheating.
is also
Not cheating.
Okay, fine. A pioneer at taking advantage of the natural laws of probability.
Yes.
Right, is not a celebrity. He's an unnamed goof that
disagree.
nobody knows. Not a single person in the chat knew who he was.
He is a best-selling author.
From the 60s.
What does that matter?
That's 60-some years ago, is my point.
What does that matter?
Well, I'm saying that doesn't mean, yeah, even drone doctors give you the business. So I stand that this was a flimsy excuse to play this, to talk about this guy on the celebrity show.
I disagree.
All right, fair enough.
Aaron, did we have any public feedback?
Public feedback? What does that mean? You mean reviews?
That's correct, Aaron.
What are you Mr. Numbers now? We did get some public feedback from Pajako, who chimed in. He says, I have created far too many blackjack prototype concepts in my line of work, and I can tell you it is a way more complex game under the hood than people think, especially when you take into account all the different rule variants and edge cases that can occur. So I know how complex this game is under the hood. It has everything you could want from a blackjack game, all the modes, all the settings, and a tutor, which I did not get time to try. By today's standards, it looks super basic, but remember, by 1990, we hadn't even had DOS 3.1. So everything on the PC was DOS based. So the ANSI graphic representation of the cards, especially the Royals, which I love, and the simplicity of ANSI meant that this probably would run on just about anything and be happy. Yeah. And with a little throwback to PC games at the time, there's the classic boss key. Sadly, it's just a blank screen, but still, seeing those always makes me smile. I was disappointed in the boss screen as well. I like it when they put up the fake spreadsheet.
The graphs, yeah.
With modern mouse and touchscreen interfaces, Edward O. Thorp's Real Blackjack can feel a little clunky, but it does exactly what it sets out to do, and that is give you all-in-one blackjack game without the risk of losing your house. Something I would love to see running on a genuine old PC. No score. That's cowardly. No score, as I didn't really have time to delve fully into it all, but I liked it.
There
So
you go.
no score from Pajako. I'm going to score it for him. 8 out of 10.
There you go.
That's the Pajako way. So there you go. That's all we got on that one. Can you purchase this online? You can, because I looked this up on eBay, and there's a copy percentage. You know that?
Bam, how much?
I didn't look.
Oh.
Any price is too much as far as I'm concerned.
Aaron, what did your celebrity do that was so great and awesome? Who did you bring to the table?
So, me and Brent had talked before the show about celebrities. And I mentioned to him that I think my celebrity would be known by almost everyone, while his celebrity would be known by practically no one. And so I submit to you, people of the chat, have any of you ever heard of a fellow called Jet Li? Anybody heard of Jet Li in the chat or in the comments? If you've heard of Jet Li, I mean, he's no Edward O. Thorp. I'll grant you that. So here's a little about, first of all, the game I picked, Jet Li Rise to Honor.
There you go.
On the PS2. He's a little jet lagged there in that picture you just put up. So Jet Li, born in '63, and is a martial arts. He's a man of many talents. Actually, he's a martial artist. I learned a lot about Jet Li, an actor and a philanthropist. So he's often touted as one of the most iconic Chinese film stars and one of the greatest martial artists in history. Did you know that?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, that's not, a lot of martial arts guys don't really do martial arts.
No, no, he's good. I'm certainly not denying that.
Yeah. So he trained as a wushu athlete at the Beijing sports school and went on to win multiple national championships with the Beijing wushu team between 74 and 79. So just right out of the gate, he's a wushu master. All right,
Sure.
which is, that instantly you get credibility right there. Once he got out of wushu, he made his acting debut in 1982 in a movie called Shaolin Temple. But the place I heard of him the first was a series of films that were very popular in China, and I had seen highlights of these things on martial arts highlight shows I used to watch called Once Upon a Time in China. It's a series of movies from 91 to 93. He played a Chinese folk hero, Wang Fei Hung, and then he also, and the next place I saw him that I thought it was awesome was Fist of Legend, which was a great movie. He really made his bones over here in the States, and it's funny. I was out of the Lethal Weapon series by the time the fourth one rolled around. I watched the first couple. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting too old for this too, but Lethal Weapon 4, people kept bugging me. You got to see it's Lethal Weapon 4. I'm like, why? I mean, how many lethal weapons do we need? It's like, well, listen, there's a guy in there who's killing it. He does a bunch of martial arts. I was like, martial arts, eh? And sure enough, that was Jet Li. That was sort of his breakout party in the States, Lethal Weapon 4. He went on to make a bunch of what I would call Midland films in America. In fact, I don't think I like any of his movies in America. Black Mask was one I didn't like. He did another one. He did a couple other ones I thought were mediocre. When I went to see him in the theater was rocking. They were having a good old time. But, I didn't think the movie was that good.
Yeah.
I'm an old martial arts guy from way back. I'm not just going to... Whenever these martial arts stars come to America, it's like Jackie Chan. Their work gets neutered because they have to do stuff the right way in America and not the dangerous, deathly way as they did it overseas.
Oh, the Rumble in the Bronx.
Rumble in the Bronx is pretty good, but after that it was downhill. And by the way, Jet Li, here's what I didn't know. He was in a movie with Jackie Chan. Did you know that? I never knew that. I need to see that. That's one I haven't mentioned. Anyway, he was in a bunch of films. He was in a Mummy movie, and he was in a bunch of the Expendables movies with a bunch of guys. He was in a movie with Crank, Jason Statham. So he's done a ton of movies. Pretty popular guy. Here's some stuff I didn't know about him, just to close it out. Jet Li topped Forbes' list of Chinese richest stars in 2004 and was 10th in the Forbes China Celebrity Hot 100 in 2004. He was 3rd in 2008. So there were a few years where, think about it, you're the biggest, most popular guy in China.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's no easy feat. It's a big country. So he's got tons of cash. He was named as the Time magazine as one of the most influential top 100 influential people in 2010. And this is the world. Think about that.
Yeah.
So that's impressive. He's a big time. He really gives tons and tons of money to charities. Big charity guy. So his philanthropy is renowned in China or throughout the world. So he's a real giving guy. He's also a guy who has mastered multiple disciplines in martial arts. He continued his studies. He's got a reputation as being a guy who is very well learned. Like, one of the things he does in his spare time is like meditate. He's a real sort of down to earth guy. So Jet Li, a real stand up guy, good guy, one of your top martial artists, top 10 for sure of all time. Okay, so with that said, how was this game? Because we've seen. Well, no, I don't know if I go that far. So, yeah, the Forbidden Kingdom. Thank you, Sataro. That's the one he did with Jackie Chan. So, the game I chose, Jet Li Rise to Honor. Released February 17th, 2004 on the PlayStation 2. 2004. It blows my mind. This I love the credits on this. How many credits do you think it took to build your game? How many people you figure made that game?
Probably 3.
Probably the guy. Probably Edward O. Thorp, the programmer, and maybe a guy who put them on a Ziploc. Right. There are 309 credited people that worked on Jet Li's game.
No, that's no.
Let's
good.
go through them. No, just kidding. I can see Brett having a heart attack. This was published by Sony, and it was developed by Sony Studio Foster City, SCE Foster City, an internal development studio at Sony. So effectively, this was published by Sony and developed in-house by Sony in their American headquarters. I always like to look at the sales on this stuff. This is a weird one, the Brent. So this had 1.27 million sales worldwide. Had 620,000 in the States, 480,000 in Europe. Was not released in Japan, which I thought was strange. You'd think this would get over in Japan. They love martial arts over in Japan. So maybe there's a cultural thing we don't know about. That just struck me as odd. You never know.
Although those sales numbers, I mean, I know it's 2004, but that's not good.
It did get a greatest hits release. So I guess once you get to 1 million, you get one. That's all I can. PlayStation don't know. All right. So what do you do in this game? Just as a quick, brief lead in, because this game has a pretty intricate plot. I don't want to give it all away. Jet Li plays a guy named Kit Yoon. He's, as usual, as you would expect, an undercover Hong Kong police officer who is out to protect a dignitary named Chang, who's a boss of one of the Hong Kong crime gangs, and he's a friend of Jet Li's father in the game. But Chang is contemplating leaving crime, which other organized crime people don't like. And so everyone's trying to kill him. And your job at the beginning of the game is you're trying to protect Chiang, but unfortunately, he gets got. And so the rest of the game is that you start trying to take care of what he wanted you to do at the end of his life. He gives you a little like whisper number. I don't want to give it away. And then you go after. But as in a lot of these games, the plot is sort of secondary to the actual killings and the beatings that will occur. So this is a game that was obviously heavily influenced by Hong Kong cinema. You're not familiar with Hong Kong cinema. Lots of martial arts action. Lots of action. Full on. Jet Li not only lit his name to this game, but he actually had his moves captured. In fact, some of the stuff came right from his movies. I think he did some actual motion capture for the game.
Sure.
And they also used his fight choreographer from the movies, Corey Yoon. So he choreographed what you can of the fights in this game, or at least attempted to give the insight to make this more like one of his movies. The game takes place in a couple cities, Hong Kong, San Francisco, and it's got a unique control system. In fact, the controls are the game. We're going to get to those right away. So if you're familiar with the PlayStation 2, the DualShock control, it's double analog sticks, and you've got your directional buttons, 4 buttons, and 2 buttons on each side.
Yeah, it's a modern style stick.
Right, so it's a PlayStation 2 joystick. A lot of fighting games or beat 'em ups, you'll use the analog stick or the directional stick. You'll run up to the guy you want to fight. You'll hit different buttons to achieve different goals. They tried something completely different in this one. In this game, you use the left analog to run around and the right analog to do your moves. And so you're thinking to yourself, why would you do that? Well, in this game, if you ever watched Hong Kong cinema, it's like one guy gets like 8, you know, and they don't attack Bruce Lee style. They all come at you.
Well,
Sometimes it's a mixed bag. I'll give you that. So in this game, you learn pretty quick that the way this works is, like, if you've got Jet Li facing north and you've got guys coming from the south, the west, and the east, all you've got to do is use that second analog stick and just aim in the direction that you want to throw an attack. That's sort of like your attack stick. And he'll spin around and hit an attack. And what this allows you to do is, it allows you to attack in any direction, no matter which way you're looking. You can spin around and do stuff. Eventually, you'll understand, you'll come to find out that you'll actually can do special maneuvers of this, and you can sort of like figure out what you're doing, as opposed to just like randomly hitting it and stuff happens. But I mean, this is one of those games where stuff happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you do combat.
And if you're confused by Aaron's description, think Robotron 2084 or Smash TV, but as a 3D beat 'em up.
Right, that's where I was going. I mean, because instead of just shooting, you actually are kicking, although there is shooting. Now, they augment that stick by some other wacky stuff. So, like, there's basically what effectively is an action button. I believe it's R1. So R1 will make you jump when you need to jump. It'll make you scurry up a wall when you need to scurry up a wall. It'll make you go up a ladder. It'll also like grab a geek if you're fighting a guy. There's like the very beginning of this game, this dude steals this parchment, and you're chasing him through the city, and he keeps throwing guys at you to kind of stop you. And this is sort of the tutorial. They say, okay, here's how you do this. That's how you do that. And like for example, there's a button you hold down to block or to dodge, and when you dodge, it leaves your enemy open, and you can do some really cool stuff to them with the other, the attack joystick. Another section of the game, these suckers come out this bridge between buildings to try to accost you. He's like, hit the R1 button, and the R1 button will grab these guys and just tip them over the side of the building right to their death. And it's the funny thing about that opening cinematic that you play through. I was going to ask you about this, your thoughts. At the end of it, you've went to 100 guys. At the end of it, the guy just surrenders. He's like, it's just a test. Good job. And I thought to myself, you killed like 20 guys to get to him. Like, does he not care about his own man? They were killed, and they were killed quickly and painfully. So the opening cinematic instantly made it's not a cinematic, you play it, but it made no sense. But it was a violent test.
Well, and really that, I mean, not from a plot perspective.
Yeah.
The plot perspective, I don't care because it is what it is.
Yeah.
But the whole game wants to be cinematic.
Yeah.
It demands to be cinematic. Since you are using one analog to move and one analog to attack, that means you have no analog for camera control.
That's I was getting to that.
And it is a brutal task at times.
There are points where you're just walking towards yourself, and there's no spin around. There is no camera control. Sorry, there's zero camera control. None I've found anyway.
No.
So once you've mastered grabbing your opponent and pummeling your opponent and dodging from your opponent, there's another thing you can do. If you hold R1 and L1 and flick the right stick, he'll do a quick strike when your opponent's attacking. So they give you options.
A counter, yeah.
In combat. All right, so I mean, I will give them that. And some of the attacks he does are awesome. You really feel like a stud because you're pummeling like 20 guys. You're pummeling them. And they come out of the woodwork. And then, since they are not tied to reality, like if I'm in Donkey Kong and I hit the jump button, I jump. The jump button doesn't also do other stuff. It just jumps, right? In this game, it's sort of like the do the stuff now button. And so the stuff might be jump. It could be shoot. It could be climb sideways up a wall or like do a pull up and Frankenstein or a guy to his death. It could be anything. So it doesn't. So you're right. The game, it's like an interactive film in a lot of ways. there's a scene where this guy's like, "Oh, you're pretty tough. Let's see you get shot." And he has to take us a couple machine guns and goes like, blah, blah, blah. And your guy's job is to run. And this is another part of this that's not very heroic, because while he's running for this guy, women, like old men, are just getting gunned down as you trail the gun. And there's nothing you can do. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
And that part reminded me more like a Dragon's Lair, because you've got to learn when to hit the button. The jump button doesn't work like a Donkey Kong. In Donkey Kong, I hit jump, Mario jumps. In this game, if you're running towards an obstacle, you have to jump. You can't just start tapping jump like a maniac. You've got to wait till it says jump on the screen.
Yeah.
Then you hit the button, and then it'll show like a scene of your guy doing a cool flip or something. So it goes outside of gameplay and flashes.
It is quick time events in real time.
Yeah, it was unusual.
Yeah.
I got past the first boss and into the second area. I played long enough to get to the gunplay. Gunplay is your classic hide behind an object and then swing around and shoot type of affair.
Yeah,
Now,
cover based.
in this game, I was like, hey, I'm not going to shoot. I'm just going to run up and pummel these guys. You can't. That's not part of the movie. The director says cut. And so what you've got to do is play by the rules. And the rules are you've got to shoot these guys. And so when you hit the button to come out from behind your thing, like a cursor, a crosshair, like with an O around it will come out, and you sort of position over the bad guys. It's not that hard to do. And
No,
shoot 'em.
because it snaps.
The gunplay was fine. I don't think there's a ton of gunplay in the game. I looked through some of the late. I didn't want to go look too far because I want to actually beat the game. But if you go through the game, there is some gameplay involved, and some gunplay, but there's a lot more martial arts. I played it with Chinese dialogue with English subtitles to make it more fun. I like it like that, and it worked fine. Soundtrack was good. The graphics were. It's funny. The worst part of the game is Jet Li. He looks weird.
He's a little ugly.
And a lot of the, I mean, this is the PS2 era, so we're coming up from your PlayStation 1, and it does look like an upgraded PlayStation 1 game. That's the way it plays.
My problem isn't with that. My problem is just everything is so muddy. All the colors are so muddy.
It's nighttime and stuff, too. That's part of it. It's a lot of it dark alleys, dampness. The bad guys in this are jerks. And some of the good guys are jerks. It's a scene where you run through a kitchen. I don't know if you remember that scene. And so there's a guy menacing the staff in the kitchen. And so you pummel the guy and all of his buddies. And then the staff attacks you. One of them does. You pummel him. I threw him onto the stove, by the way. And then when the other staff members run out the back door, they're instantly gunned down. I don't know why. What happened? What did they do?
Well, here's the thing. And I'm going to give my opinion on this game.
Get on it. Go. Jump in.
This game was on the edge of being something special.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, since it didn't make it over the line, it fell into something that is... I'm not going to say it's unplayable, because it's totally playable. But... If you aren't willing to play by its rules, you don't even play.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you have to attack the people that come out the way they want you to attack them, which means, like you ran into, guns if there's guns, fights if there's fights. You're on a linear path. There's no branching out.
No. Yeah. I heard this is one of those you play it once type games.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you are kicking and punching, you are suggesting to Jet Li that you want to attack in a direction. You don't tell him, I want you to throw, kick, kick, kick.
Yeah.
You say attack up.
Well, there are patterns you can use to make certain attacks go off, but I wasn't great at them.
Come on.
But they're there. You can't dismiss them.
The best part of this game is the environmental interaction you can do. You can throw chairs.
Yeah.
You can throw people.
I hit a guy with a big leg of lamb and pummeled him. It was great.
That kind of stuff is neat. That's kind of the only improv the game lets you do. Otherwise, you have to play by their rules. Their rules wouldn't be so bad if they didn't have that darn locked-in camera. Because sometimes it is so detrimental. Perfect example. I cleared one room, And I knew I checked all the doors.
I know the exact room you're talking about.
And by the way, checking the doors takes extremely too long. But
Yeah.
I checked all the doors were locked, and I knew that I had to kick out this glass.
Yeah.
So I walked over to the glass and I kicked, and nothing happened. And I was like, what in the world? So I looked around the room. I tried all the doors again. I was picking up furniture, and I was trying to throw the furniture at the glass. I could never line it up right because the camera was too all over the place.
Yeah.
So I walked up to the glass again, and I kicked it again, and this time it cracked.
Yeah.
So
it shows your guy in a little cinematic flying to the glass. There was the cinematic for you throwing a bench to the glass.
Right.
So you didn't get that part.
Right. So it's just things like that it's, first of all, it's restrained. It has to work with a PlayStation 2. I get that.
Yeah.
And I get that they have a vision in mind. They want this to be you're playing a movie.
Yeah.
And that is 100% how they played it up. I'm not a huge fan of that. All of that said, this is still a fine game.
Yeah.
You are going to get in there. You're going to have fun. It's fun beating up tons of people.
Yeah.
It's fun being set in their world and doing what they want you to do. It's fun. They make a lot of that fun. There's tons of chairs to throw and tables to break. I am not surprised this sold. I mean, 1.4 million. It's not selling bad, but I bet they poured a crap ton of money into this game and did not see the return in the investment they wanted.
Well, it's hard to say that. And I will say part of this game is you make your own game. Like, because a lot of hear me out, and I think you'll agree with me. In this game, there's lots of wave after wave of guys attacking you. And after you've beaten up your 15th wave of guys, you're like, well, here comes another wave. Hey, what's that over there? Can of tuna. Whack. Hey, can I throw this guy through the glass? I can. Can I toss this guy off the cliff? I can. So that's what I mean by making your own game at some points, because there's a lot of rinse and repeat. I couldn't help but consider, it's funny, I can't believe it's just me years ago, but 3 years ago on the show, I played a game called John Woo Presents Stranglehold.
Yes.
Okay. I think it was for the Windows we played. I think it was also an Xbox 360 maybe or something. And that game, if you could combine them into a game, that'd be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
Because this has a much better story than John Woo Stranglehold. That was a real dumb story. And also, this game I like the combat. I think the combat in this has a lot of potential.
Yes.
The problem with this thing is the game got in its own way.
Yeah.
You know, I like quick time events. They're cool. I like when you see a little movie. I like that. It's fine. But I mean, don't be so stringent on how things go. And like, especially with jumping, like it's okay to put in a cool jump now and again, but you can't make the game stupid because I missed time jumping over a block or whatever.
I jumped over block A, but the game wanted me to jump over block B, It was just like, no, you're just dead.
Stranglehold had a really good gun system. It was like way better than this one.
Oh yeah, guns in this.
And also, Stranglehold had lots of cool ways to kill guys with guns. So if you could combine the cool ways to kill guys with guns and the cool ways to kill guys with your legs and arms, and then the storyline from this, and maybe the graphics, neither one of them they're pretty much, I'd say, on par.
Yeah,
graphically. Cool. I think you'd have something here. But I mean, I enjoyed this game for what it was. I like Hong Kong cinema, and so I liked a lot of the bad guys in this were interesting to me and funny and goofy. You know, the twins. There's one part where these guys menace you for a whole level, and at the end you realize there's two of the same guy. They're twins. They're dressed identically. And then they both pummel you, and then they leave.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, did I win? I got to go to the next level, so I guess so. But I think this is a pretty good game for people that are more modern. This has it supports a widescreen aspect, which is nice. Brent mentioned that this game. Oh, I should mention this. I'm not going to get into a long description of this, but amongst the things in this, and this will also back up my claim that this absolutely fits the criteria for this week's. There's tons and tons of little artifacts from Jet Li's other films.
Well, I don't think anyone was saying that it didn't fit the.
So if you're into his other films, you know, like you'll see stuff in the game. There's even some unlockable stuff that you could get that are like costumes from his other films.
Sure.
So they put a lot of stuff in there. Now, granted, some of his other films, like for example, there's some stuff in here from Black Mask. I thought that movie sucked. So I don't care about that, but it's in here. So if you like Black Mask,
Yeah, I mean that now you just.
it's in there. I'm nitpicking, but that's the way it is. I looked at the reviews on this. I'm not going to go over the 4 billion reviews that there were, but there were quite a few. Some of these I found bad. I can't explain them. And the thing is, a lot of the reviews, the links no longer work because this is a modern-ish title. It's funny. We can find reviews for DOS games and stuff, but games from like the PS2 era, I was having all kinds of trouble being able to actually read the review. GamePro, for whatever reason, gave this 100%.
What? No, that is a check clear situation.
Well, listen, I don't have a thought on that. I'm sure that was on the up and up. I don't see a reason why they would lie. Looking at the more places that you would know, GameSpot gave this a 40, which is IGN, which I did manage to read their review. They go to 58. Which I think those are too low. 58.
I think this is about a
I'd say 77, 78.
I think I wouldn't give it that. I would say either a 6 or a 7.
I think it's a C game. I think it's maybe a little above average. It's just they were trying something different and it didn't quite work. So, but
it looked great through the air and then they did not stick the landing.
The average Moby score when you sizzle it all down was 6.7. That's not bad.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
You can get this for peanuts on eBay
all
day long. You can get this under $20 and under $10. And if you just want the disc, you can get that for I saw a guy selling it for like 99 cents or best offer. So, I mean, it's the dirt cheap. It's the dirt cheap if you want that. We did get one review outside of the magazine. It's a gift from Pajako who chimed in. Pajako writes, life was pretty hectic recently, so sadly I had just enough time this evening to get all the way through the first chapter and to the nightclub boss, but that seems to be about a quarter of the way through. No, there's way more than that. I came into this expecting another mediocre GTA clunner, basic fight and go right game, but actually what I got was a pretty fun and epic kung fu movie where you could really feel like a boss and kick some serious butt. Doing the full subtitles with Chinese dialogue, that's what I did. Also adds the feeling of watching a movie as well, and it nicely transitions to English later on. With a nice mix of gameplay, it has a variety up the wazoo. It's got epic fights, slow-mo, parkour, gunplay. I wouldn't call it parkour, but I guess it is.
Yeah.
Gunplay, and a cheesy story with dialogue to match. One thing I liked is even when you die, you can pretty much just continue from your last checkpoint, so you aren't replaying long stretches of the game over and over. Genuinely, with the PSX2 running on most PCs these days and regular access to off-site backups, there's little reason not to play this one. A really well-put-together game that doesn't take itself too seriously and really is a good Jet Li game, not just a game with Jet Li slapped on it. I reckon you could stick a solid couple or 3 evenings in and get through it all, have fun, and feel like a total badass. I will say, he mentioned something that I want to also mention I didn't like. This game gives you 1 save slot, 1. And so whenever you save, you've got to save over your other save slot, which I didn't like.
No, it is dumb, but...
That's dumb. Now, it does let you continue, but it is dumb. So, yeah, but I would agree with that for the most part, that this game is fun. It's dumb fun. If you've got a copy, if you can get a copy, grab it. I think you'll have a good time, but just be prepared to get irritated and annoyed at some of the game's more eccentric maneuverings when it comes to the quick time stuff and the weirdness of it all.
Absolutely. Aaron, do you know the one thing that we never get annoyed by?
Well, it's not you, so it must be the wheel.
That's it. Now, Aaron, you added things to the wheel.
I did.
What did you add?
For fun, the retro piece for this week is the PlayStation 1, and the piece we added, as requested by Buck Owens, games you couldn't release today. Games you couldn't release today.
A small list, in
Close
my
your
opinion.
lids so they can see.
Oh,
they can't see
close
nothing.
the lid.
There you go. Fire it up. What are you rooting for this week? We haven't played an oddball system for a while.
Well, we didn't get the retro piece. When
And
we get
the
there.
winner is, bam, he's in the chat, folks, from Pack Billy. Favorite game from least favorite genre.
Oh!
Favorite game from least, so you're going to be playing, you hate most genres.
No,
So the field's wide open. Is it going to be an Arkanoid
it
style
has
game?
to be an Ark and Oil style
Is
game.
it going to be a text adventure? It could be anything, because Brent hates so much. So Pack Billy with favorite games from least favorite genre. So let me tell you what's happening here in the next couple weeks. That we will be back to ARG here in a while. But up next, the retro rotation spins again, the Brent. And next week, Sunday, November 16th, it's going to be Atari Unlimited, the Brent.
Yes.
Tell them what we're doing on Atari Unlimited.
I don't want to.
What do you mean? Yeah, I thought you were excited about this one.
I'm excited about it, but it's going to be so hard. We are going to
because
look
you have to do some work this time.
We are going to look into the history of Tengen.
Yes, that's right. And we're going to play a game from the Tengen catalog. That'll be November 16th, Tengen. The week after that, November 25th, I believe, which is the Tuesday of that week, it's a Coco show. We're bringing back Coco so we get their Christmas show in. And we'll be playing Kix or Quix, Quix, the third-party bootleg knockoff.
That's it.
Of Kix. That's what we'll be doing November 25th. ARG Presents will be back. It'll be a while. We will be back with ARG Presents December 14th for favorite games from least favorite genres. Maybe we can even Christmas that one up a little bit. That might be kind of fun if we can pull that trick. And I want to say, so remember, next week, Atari Unlimited Tengen. November 25th, the week after, it's a Coco Show Kicks. And then, November 28th, at 9 a.m., is that what we decided? The Thanks for Giving Marathon. Wheel is back in the view as myself and the Brent, the day after Thanksgiving, November 28th, will be in this very room for our yearly marathon. How many have we done so far? About 5 of these things? 5 or 6?
I don't know. I've lost count. But for those that don't know, this is our yearly marathon to just give thanks back to our fans. We're not running a subathon. We're not asking for bits. We're not wanting you
I don't know what
join.
they are.
We're not trying to get you to join the Patreon. Now, if you want to do any of those things, that's fine. But we're not even going to ask for it. This is just a gameplay situation where we are here to play games for you and with you.
Yeah.
And we don't ask anything in return. This is just our way of kind of thanking the community. For the people here in the States, it's the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, the 28th.
And for the rest of the world, we hope you either watch us on your off time or while you're at work.
Or you're on your own time. Yeah. On the can, like in the bed. It's all good. We'll be on. Normally, we go right up until Amigos on that Friday, so we'll probably do that again. So probably till about 5 or so. We'll go till about then. And then we'll transition smoothly into Amigos, where me and Bud will do our thing.
And what games are we going to play? I don't know.
We should absolutely try some of the games. Like, we should try, like, both the games. Maybe not the poker, maybe not the blackjack game. We should try the Jet League. That'd be kind of fun.
We absolutely won't be doing that because we will definitely be playing games that we can play multiplayer.
No, we will we'll do some single-player stuff,
We're
too.
not going to do any single-player stuff.
Single-player stuff to beat the band. I'm tired of playing games with you. You cheat. When you lose, you get mad.
Do you have anything else to tell the people? Okay, that's a complete lie. I can let your lie slide, but that one's so untrue.
I love it. I love it. So, please join us in early December for ARG Presents when we play favorite game from least favorite genre. And tune in next week for Atari Unlimited, November 16th, where Brent does all the research on Tengen. Anything you want to say to the people before we take it to the house, the Brent?
Nope.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Until then, roll on.
We got it going. With a spin of the wheel, we'll uncover our faith and scream it to you all in one take. We tend to be loud and we fight quite a bit, but it's an unscripted show, so you get what you get if we stop